I'm so happy to see everybody here today. This is long awaited for me. Finally, I get to see all of you here face to face. It's been a while since Miss World Philippines, and now I'm Miss Eco Philippines, so how exciting. Thank you so much for being here.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the past month.
Wow, okay, so not long ago I just came back from Thailand, right? So that was more of a personal trip, and it was amazing. I had a lot of I freed my mind a little bit from the stress of pageantry, but now that I'm here in the Philippines, as soon as I came back, it was rush, rush, rush. I worked on my requirements, my eco video, as I'm sure a few of you here have seen it. That was done in Palawan, and then right after that I did my photo shoot for the requirement also, and that was recently released as well. So yeah, a lot of it has got to do with training, pasarela, Q&A, hair and makeup training, so it's definitely preparing me to be ready in Egypt, which I will be leaving soon, so yeah, abangan.
You can settle in.
Social media, and if we do not use that for the good, for the better, and for educational purposes, then we need to ask ourselves if we're doing the right thing. So each of us, no matter how many followers we have influence, and we need to be able to use that. And so right now, I'm advocating for mental health awareness and environmental consciousness. So that's my purpose, and I hope that my audience sees that I'm doing the best that I can, and I hope that I am influencing people in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck again.
Thank you so much, Adam.
For this upcoming Miss Eco International Pageant.
Oh my God. It makes me collide because it's been a long time since I competed internationally. So I competed in this team a long time ago, and here I am again competing. I think I'm a new Kathleen. I'm definitely a more open and excited woman. I'm sure in Miss World Philippines I was a little bit more reserved, but I hope that you guys can expect a more blossomed woman, a happier girl, and a person that will honestly just perform. I love myself to perform. I think that's one thing I love about myself, that I love to perform, and I hope I can really make the Philippines proud by performing the best of that to my ability. Overwhelmed, definitely. Honestly, pageant girls or women, we have a lot of pressure on our back and our shoulders. It's inevitable for us to feel that way, but because of these pressures, we need to prepare and to train and actively be doing something about it. So I'm definitely confident within myself to be able to bring the Philippines to the best of our ability. I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm doing it for the whole Philippines. And coming from a whole competition in Miss Eco where the previous queens have performed so well, congrats to the Philippines, by the way. There's a lot of pressure, but honestly, I'm just there to have fun. I can't wait to meet every single woman from all over the world, and yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Okay, so
Well, COVID is still here. We can't do anything about that at the moment. I mean, we all can just do something within ourselves to fix that, which is, clean our hands, take care of ourselves, take immunity tablets, for example, or vitamin C. It's really, it's up to you if you want to be okay and safe from COVID. But we never know if it's going to be even here or outside, so we just have to be aware that it's here. There's not much we can do about it. In terms of pageantry, yeah, just be active, take care of your mind, rest up, eat well, balanced diet, yeah.
And I'm sure that the organization there is much prepared in over this time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're very prepared. As
Yeah.
soon as I arrive actually in Egypt, we have to take an RT-PCR, so.
Okay,
They're
thank
ready.
you very much.
Thank you so
Good
much,
luck.
Dr. Nelly. Here today. This is long awaited for me. Finally, I get to see all of you here face to face. It's been a while since Miss World Philippines, and now Miss Eco Philippines. So how exciting. Thank you so much for being here.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the past months.
Wow, okay, so not long ago, I just came back from Thailand, right? So that was more of a personal trip, and it was amazing. I had a lot of I freed my mind a little bit from the stress of pageantry, but now that I'm here in the Philippines, as soon as I came back, it was rush, rush, rush. I worked on my requirements, my eco video, as I'm sure a few of you here have seen it. That was done in Palawan, and then right after that I did my photo shoot for the requirement also, and that was recently released as well. So yeah, a lot of it has got to do with training, pasarela, Q&A, hair and makeup training, so it's definitely preparing me to be ready in Egypt, which I will be leaving soon, so yeah, about it.
You can settle in your chair while we do a short Q&A. So, let's do this. Who wants to answer first? Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Hello.
Long time no see.
I've got two questions for you. First is good luck on your upcoming competition.
Thank you.
Okay, so since winning Miss Eco International Philippines, what have you learned most about our environment?
Wow, actually a lot. Not long ago, yes, Miss World Philippines crowned me as Miss Eco Philippines 2021, now competing 2022. I learned a lot. I learned about the Philippines and the importance of climate change and global warming and its impact in the Philippines specifically. So my main purpose of my Eco title is educating myself about the impact in the Philippines, and in doing so also educating my people on my Instagram and social media, because I don't think a lot of us are aware that global warming is real, climate change is here, and we need to create actions right now in order for us to mitigate the issues that's happening, because every single year we have 15 to 22 typhoons, right? And the reasons we get typhoons is because of hot temperatures mixed with global warming, raising the melting ice caps, so the rising sea levels and the mixture of high temperatures, it's inevitable that the Philippines will experience more and more typhoons. And I don't want that. I don't want my people to experience that. And I come from a land and I experienced it firsthand, typhoons as a child, and I know the damage that it can cause. I've lived 3 months without lights and water, and I want to educate the Philippines all about that. And we need to create actions individually and as a community in order for us to mitigate these problems. So thank you so much for asking me that question, Adam.
My last question is, speaking of social media, I'm glad that you mentioned that. So I noticed that you are getting more and more active in using that. So I wonder, how do you think social media is important for your candidacy here in Miss Eco International?
Yeah, so social media obviously plays a huge role for each beauty queen. It's a platform for all of us to use, and it's a platform that we must use in order for us to create awareness in our different advocacies. So I'm for social media as long as we use it responsibly. It's definitely helping me, use my voice for the better. I think it would be silly of us to not use our social media actively, because it's there. We have access to it. Every single person in the world, almost, has social media. And if we do not use that for the good, for the better, and for educational purposes, and we need to ask ourselves if we're doing the right thing. So each of us, no matter how many followers we have influence, and we need to be able to use that. And so right now, I'm advocating for mental health awareness and environmental consciousness. So that's my purpose, and I hope that my audience sees that I'm doing the best that I can, and I hope that I am influencing people in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck again.
Thank you so much, Adam.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi,
Good
Bo.
afternoon. My name is Jay from Pageant. I have a question for you.
Hi, Jay.
What can we expect, Kathleen Paton, for this upcoming Miss Eco International pageant?
Oh my God. It makes me feel it because it's been a long time since I competed internationally. So I competed in this team a long time ago, and here I am again competing. I think I'm a new Kathleen. I'm definitely a more open and excited woman. I'm sure in Miss World Philippines I was a little bit more reserved, but I hope that you guys can expect a more blossomed woman, a happier girl, and a person that will honestly just perform. I love myself to perform. I think that's one thing I love about myself, that I love to perform, and I hope I can really make the Philippines proud by performing the best of that to my ability.
Thank you so much, Kathleen.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Kathleen. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon po.
First one from Pageant Philippines.
Hello.
I'm just listing a question that was already asked in another pageant. So the question goes this way. What do you think, or who do you think is the biggest enemy of the earth?
I mean, I have to agree with the original answer to that one. It's really the people. Actually, the person that was asked for that is Nina Robertson. So she's from Australia. I love her. It's really the people. It's also the big companies. That's one of the biggest issues, or the biggest enemy of the world. We don't realize that every single day, the things that we do contributes to global warming and climate change. And in order for us to decrease our economic footprint, the CO2 footprint, our carbon footprint, we need to be aware that we are creating these issues. And like I said earlier, we need to create individual choices and changes in our habits in order for us to mitigate these issues with our environment. So it's the people, I think.
Wonderful. So good luck, Kathleen.
Thank you so much, Cora.
Hi, Kathleen. I'm Nolly for Open World Quality.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling that finally you will be competing internationally? Because before you are ambassador of Goodwill of City of Manila, right?
Yes, in Miss Manila, yes.
But now you're competing in a major international pageant.
I'm feeling overwhelmed, definitely. Honestly, pageant girls or women, we have a lot of pressure on our back and our shoulders. It's inevitable for us to feel that way, but because of these pressures, we need to prepare and to train and actively be doing something about it. So I'm definitely confident within myself to be able to bring the Philippines to the best of our ability. I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm doing it for the whole Philippines. And coming from a whole competition in Miss Eco where the previous queens have performed so well, congrats to the Philippines, by the way. There's a lot of pressure, but honestly, I'm just there to have fun. I can't wait to meet every single woman from all over the world, and yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Okay, so of course we're all still aware of what happened, the post-pageant, the incident that happened after the pageant last year, right? So what healthy or safety measure na you prepared para maiwasan yung mga ganon na incident ulit?
Well, COVID is still here. We can't do anything about that at the moment. I mean, we all can just do something within ourselves to fix that, which is, clean our hands, take care of ourselves, take immunity tablets, for example, or vitamin C. It's really, it's up to you if you want to be okay and safe from COVID. But we never know if it's going to be even here or outside, so we just have to be aware that it's here. There's not much we can do about it. In terms of pageantry, just be active, take care of your mind, rest up, eat well, balanced diet,
And I'm sure that the organization there is much prepared in over this time.
I think so. I think they're very prepared. as soon as I arrive actually in Egypt, we have to take an RT-PCR. So
Okay.
they're
Thank you
ready.
very much.
Thank you so
Good
much,
luck.
Dr. Kelly.
Hi, Kathleen. Jay Pato from
Hello.
You were born and raised in Boracay.
Yes, Boracay.
So, do you think more development and progress should continue in Boracay or not?
In all honesty, the last time I was there was probably early 2020, just before the pandemic. And when I was there, it was kind of nice. I love Boracay. I loved it even way before everything happened with the cleanup. But the thing is, they really need to take care of their people, the displaced, I guess. And I know people within the organization there that are helping them make sure that they are well taken care of. But I think the government, they really need to take care of their people there the most. In terms of development, it's pretty developed already, honestly. The good thing about the cleanup is they are able to somewhat fix the overproduction of buildings or the infrastructure. And I think the main thing that they need to do is honestly the sewage problem, because every time it rains there, from my personal experience, it's always flooding. So I hope when I go back there, that's already fixed. And I hope that the littering is not a problem there. I hope there are recycling and normal bins there, because yeah, the corals are dead, unfortunately, and we need to take care of our ocean. Obviously, it's inevitable that the corals will die because of the tourists, and the tourists is one of the most important things for the Philippines to bring in the GDP. So yeah, I think the government just needs to put up good laws in order for tourism to be okay.
Okay, my second question is, did you have any challenges in your transition from being a teenage international beauty queen to now competing for another international beauty queen pageant?
Oh, in pageantry. Well, I've always been a very independent person. I grew up in Australia, and they really educate us to be independent, so we cannot rely on our parents, for example. So I always grew up being independent. I had a job since I was 14, and I think transitioning from being from Australia to the Philippines was a bit tough in terms of trusting people and learning about different people's characteristics, especially the culture in the Philippines. It's very different to Australia. So in pageantry, yeah, it was definitely challenging because like when I was in Miss Teen International, I trained actually in a pageant camp here, and it prepared me so much in that competition, and luckily I won that. But coming into another pageant here in the Philippines is even harder because Filipinos are really competitive. And I've never really experienced that in Australia because I only did one pageant in Australia. So it was definitely a challenge. I see every day a challenge for me. There's definitely something that I need to get out of my comfort zone every single day to prepare for a pageant here in the Philippines, especially in the international stage where wearing the Philippines sash, it's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of expectations, and I just have to accept that and also do my best. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much, Bob.
My question is all about Russian invasion to Ukraine. I'm joking. Just kidding. Anyway, I'm sure you have checked your co-candidates at the Miss Eco International. So if given a chance, who would you choose as your roommate?
Oh, okay. There's actually Miss Finland that I really love. She's so sweet. We react to each other's stories a few times. We talk and update each other. We have a very friendly relationship already, and I haven't even met her. So I really hope she can be my roommate because I can imagine having a really good time with her. But nevertheless, like I see them online. I actually follow, I think, most of them now, and they seem really friendly. And I think most of us are just excited to be there in Egypt, to be honest. So Matilda from Miss Finland.
Matilda.
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you so much.
Kathleen, Ezel from Pageant. I just want to ask, did you ask or you reach out for fellow former Miss Eco Philippines?
Yeah, so
their tips or advice?
actually, most Thea, Maureen, and Kelly all reached out to me, which was I'm very lucky to have that because I don't know what it's like with the other beauty queens, but they were all so kind to me, so sweet. I actually met up with Maureen and we had lunch and she told me everything that I needed to know for Egypt and how to prepare. Kelly and I chat each other from time to time, and Thea also sends me voice messages to ensure that I will do my very best. I think they all really believe in me and I'm very lucky to have them. They're really giving me a lot of good tips, so I can't wait for you guys to see.
Hello, Ethan Concepcion from
Hi, Ethan.
I read your profile. It's nice to know that you put up a program or an unboxing which you call the Ono Society, which caters, I mean, people who suffer from depression and anxiety. How far, so far, yung reach out na to? And can you give more about it? Little background on the Ono Society?
Sure, Bob. So, as you all know, I'm an avid advocate of mental health awareness. At the age of 18, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I'm very open about that. I think a lot of people, 1 in 4 people, suffer from a form of mental health illness or challenge. So I'm very open about that. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable about my story. And I just want to share that on my social media. You know, I moved to the Philippines at 20 and I felt very alone. I didn't really know who to go to or where to find like mental health pages that can really support mental health. And so I put up this Instagram account the mental health account on a society. It's the purpose of it is to prevent a deterioration of our mental health. Instead of like, you know, instead of educating, it's hard. Ono Society is for the prevention of mental health deterioration. And I put there like things such as gratitude, how to practice gratitude, how to practice journaling. So all of that, like before we have like deterioration of our mental health, we already have that kind of awareness on what to do. So I also post a lot on there about, you know, supplements, what supplements we can take, or what we can do, or go outside and get some sunshine. So it's a lot of that is science as well, and journaling and gratitude. And I want to educate people on that. And I think a lot of people have realized that that's very important because there's about almost 700 followers on there. And that's all the people that I know that feels like they're not alone. And I want people to realize that they're not alone. Like me, back when I was 20 here in the Philippines, I was never alone. I just needed to reach out. I just needed to find the right information, and it's there. And I hope I get to influence people and make them realize that they are not alone. And it's okay to not be okay.
What's the name of Instagram?
Ono Society, so P-O-N-O Society. The origin of the word is a Hawaiian word, and it's all about equity, respect, kindness, righteousness. So it really resonated with me. That's why I chose that word. Yeah.
Thanks so much for that. Then my next question, how pressured are you or how excited are you in your upcoming pageant Eco Miss Eco International? The fact that we have very good record dito. Actually, ako mismo pinapagod ko. So how excited or pressured are you?
The excitement outweighs the pressure. Excitement for me it's honestly over the roof. It's up there compared to the pressure. I know the pressure is there, and I've already accepted that. And as you can see in some of the postings of Miss Eco International, a lot of the captions are like, "Will Kathleen make it like Thea? Will Kathleen perform as well as these girls in the past, Miss Philippines?" So they expect a lot from me, and that's okay because I expect a lot from myself as well. And the thing is about myself that I want people to know is when I put my mind into something, I make sure I do it to the best of my ability. And I know that I'm going to perform the best that I can, and I'm not going to let down the Philippines. You can count on me on that. Thank you so much, Mr.
Philippines, really a good one, and I never forget that when you said, never go to the gym on a pandemic. So, from that time on until now, are there other good advices you can give, especially to aspirants of a national pageant?
That was a good one. That made me giggle. What was the question, sorry?
What are the other advices you found out from that time on until now that you can give to other aspirants of national pageant?
I think the best advice I can give is to try, get out of your comfort zone, and leave the fear behind. As you can remember in my Q&A, the last Q&A I had in Miss World Philippines, it was, what is one thing that a person should overcome? And I said, it's the fear of rejection. And the thing is, and I can honestly still apply it right now, because this pageant of mine for Miss Eco, I'm doing it quite a lot on my own, because I'm very hands-on with everything that I do. And so I told myself, I need to get rid of this fear of rejection and get out of my comfort zone and just take that leap of faith within myself to ask people for help. And don't be afraid to ask for help, you know, with pageantry, with designers, with trainers, because there's so many people out there that has really kind hearts who are willing to do things for free or discounted. And I think that's what a lot of women or people in pageantry, as males as well, are afraid of because of the financial burden. So don't be afraid. Ask for help. Reach out to people. Don't be afraid. It's easier said than done, I know, but you never know what the answer is going to be. You never know what's out there for you. So that's my advice. Get out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
Since you mentioned financial burden, how would you give an advice to a first-timer who will be really having that as an obstacle in joining a national pageant? Because the costs are many.
Yes. I would say reach out to your LGU. You never know what they're going to give, right? And I think, and deep down, always remember that there's always people that always going to help you. Like I said, reach out to your LGU. Save up, work, save up, and save that money. And then once you're out there, in the city, for example, in Manila, try and ask for help from pageant camps. There's so many now, and I love that for pageant things. I love that there's more than just two. I love that you can be independent and not be judged for it. So reach out to beauty pageant camps, save up money, and ask for help. The word collaboration is my favorite word right now. I send out messages and I say, is it okay if we collaborate? And if they say no, that's okay, you know, because you just have to expect that people will say no. But then if they say yes, it's like, wow, okay, thank you so much. And always be grateful, always build relationships with people, with designers, with photographers, because in the end, they will always be there for you and they will always help you when you're a good person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aside from your advocacy for environment, for mental health, you also said that you're an advocate of life. Care to expound?
I will expound on that. So we had a talk recently, privately, and I told you that I'm an advocate of life, meaning to say that I had a second chance at life, and this chance that I'm taking right now, it's a privilege to me. I'm very lucky to be here with you face to face and talking about this. And what I'm trying to say with advocate of life is we all deserve to be here today. We all deserve to be here and feel good and happy. And I think that's the one thing that I want to educate people on with Pano Society is that we need to learn to appreciate life and also understand that with life, it's not always going to be easy. It's always going to have its ups and downs, and that's normal. And so that's what I'm trying to tell people also on my social media, that this is our life, we deserve it, and we just need to forge through and flourish and be the best version of ourselves on the road. So that's my advocacy and advocate of life. Thank you so much.
My name is Kim from the Daily Tribune. I have two questions. The first one, thank you. The first one would be what or who motivates you to win the crown?
Wow. I am my own motivation, but honestly speaking, my parents. It's cliche, right? Because a lot of people say that, but honestly speaking, my mom and my dad are the most selfless people I know. They supported me in my pageantry. I needed them. I haven't seen them in a really long time, but that's okay because I know deep down they're here with me. I wish I could bring them with me to Egypt, but they're the main my main motivation in life. I want to showcase the world. I want to showcase the world really that the values they set in me and the values that they taught me is who I am today. And I want them to know, and I want them to feel proud about the daughter that they have raised. Because if I'm not the best version of myself, and I'm not the kindest and the nicest and the most caring person of myself and respectful, honestly, I would feel really bad because that's what my parents has always taught me. So in this pageantry, I just want to showcase that. I just want to showcase who I am and be okay with that. And I hope my parents can be proud. And of course the Philippines. You can't forget the Philippines.
Okay, for my final question, what is your equal advice to the Filipinos or to the world at these trying times?
These trying times. Climate change is a real thing. We need to realize that. We need to change something within our homes. We need to start changing our habits. That's my main advice. Change our habits into a more eco-friendly way, because the only way for us to mitigate this is to change our habits individually and then ripple effect that awareness to other people within your homes, families, friends, and community. And altogether, we can make a really big impact. So as Karen Basco said, micro efforts equals macro effects.
Thank you, that was very well said. Good luck, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mahabag question. Would you say, Kath, that mental health intervention now in the Philippines is so much better compared to how it was maybe 20 years ago?
Yes, it's true. I mean, with any advocacy and other stigmatized topics today, compared to 20 years ago, it's a lot better now. And that's because of social media. That's because of younger generations now are more aware and woke, as they say. And that's a really good thing. Specifically with mental health though, the one thing that I want to point out also about the pandemic is, and the silver lining about the pandemic is, I don't want to say it's a good thing that we went through a pandemic because it's not, but it made us realize that mental health is so important and it's here and we need to talk about it. We need to have open conversations in order for us to realize and to destigmatize this topic. Because 1 in 4 people have it. 1 in 4 people in their lifetime will always have